big sale at Sports.
Now we're watching the progress of Scott Sharp. Remember, he qualified fastest, had to start back on the 26th position after changing tires. He's currently worked his way up past 7 competitors. He's running 17th, and you can see him challenging for another spot now as he brings the Camaro. The defending Trans Am champion picks up another position as he crosses the stripe.
That was Deborah Gregg he just passed. Deborah Gregg, who had a lot of engine problems here in practice.
Even though it has those sweeping turns, you make a mistake, you pay the price.
Very small mistakes can get you in big trouble here. As soon as you get sideways, there's hardly any room to move. And we saw exactly that happen to Peyton. Now we're back with Tommy Archer inside his car. This is a driver's eye view. He sets up for the fast left-hander. Now he's going to turn right. Turn right. He balances the throttle. Here, get on, off, on, off. Lower left side of the picture, you can actually see the throttle linkage. You can see him get on it. Now he's off. Little dabs to balance that car. It's a very fine line between sliding too much and having just enough power on. Remember, Jack Baldwin is breathing down his neck while he tries to keep his car ahead here.
An experienced driver who started in ice racing competition, has been in race trucks, Enduro, in the Corvette Challenge competition, now a full-time challenger in the Trans Am ranks, and what a moment he's enjoying here in the Motor City 100 as he continues to set the pace in his Dodge.
They were very good at Long Beach right out of the box. They've since done some extensive testing, particularly at Mid-Ohio. They were very fast. Interestingly enough, Jack Baldwin slides very wide there. He and his brother, when they go to test sessions, they both drive each other's cars to make sure that they get the best out of each other's setup. So a good combination there between the brothers Bobby and Tommy. Now we're back with Scott Sharp.
And he continues to pick off those drivers in the midfield. He's currently 11th. He has a chance to move into the top 10, and he has now moved into the top 10 with that pass right there. Scott Sharp, who started 26th, has gained 16 positions as he tries to make it 3 in a row on the streets no longer of downtown Detroit, but now the streets of neighboring Belle Isle. We have got a great battle going right here because
we
now
really do, absolutely.
The attack has really come from Scott Sharp.
And it does take time to actually make these passes because you have to set somebody up, make sure that he sees you before you try and dive down the inside. Now Scott Sharp is making up positions, but it's only now when he gets clear road that he can actually hope to make up ground on the leading group of cars. That's his next job to do.
Because of his decision to start at the back of the pack, we talked to Scott Sharp about the impact of having to battle traffic to contend for the lead.
I tell you, that's one thing. Traffic's going to be a problem, and you can get stuck behind a guy for a couple laps, and if you're racing with a couple people, you can just lose endless amounts of time. So I think drivers are going to have to take a little extra chances to make sure they can get people at the first opportunity, and as you know, sometimes those opportunities shrink pretty quickly.
And now we're back with the leaders. Jack Baldwin still about 3 or 4 car lengths behind Tommy Archer.
Archer, Baldwin, Robinson still 1, 2, 3. The challenge from mid-pack from Scott Sharp. Nose to tail. But the story right now is Scott Sharp, a 2-time defending champion of this event who started 26th. He is now just passed. Randy Ruhlman has taken over the number 8 position.
Just to give you an idea how aggressively Scott Sharp is driving, here's a pass he made just 2 laps ago of Wayne Akers. Comes up the inside and says, this is it, I'm going through. Yanks the car down to the right side, and away he goes past Wally Owens.
Wally Owens losing that position as Sharp moved from the top 10 to the 9th spot. He's currently 8th, having moved past Ruhlman. He continues to whittle away. He's got a long way to go. Well, we see the Camaros of Jack Baldwin and Scott Sharp running so well today here at Belle Isle. Chris McClure takes a closer look at the Camaro on its 25th anniversary.
It was 1967 when Mark Donohue, Roger Penske, and Camaro got together to go Trans Am racing. And they picked up their first victory in one of these Sunoco models at the Maryland Marlboro Speedway that year. Basically a showroom stock machine with a few racing accoutrements inside for the safety of the driver. The fact of the matter is, if it was a cold day, you could simply go ahead and button it up, create some creature comforts for the driver as he coursed his way through the field. This year is Camaro's 25th anniversary, and it brings us to this. Scott Sharp's racing Camaro for the 1992 Trans Am campaign. A purpose-built machine, carbon fiber skin on the outside, very sophisticated on the inside. What about power plants? Well, back then, 302 cubic inches, about 450 horsepower. In the newer model, not that much bigger, 310 cubic inches, but about 600 horsepower. And in the evolution from that to this, Camaro has captured 57 Trans Am victories, and that's a record.
Now we go in car, watching Tommy Archer in his office working. See the gear change there, see how short the throw is. Very fast gear changes. Driver bobs and weaves around it, but see he has a cool suit on and moves the steering around the racetrack.
Now let's go back down to the pit area where Chris McClure has a fascinating story on how these cars have been improved since Long Beach. Oh, we've got a problem here, Chris, before we go to the pits. We've got a car in trouble. Wayne Akers is up on the curb. He almost hit the concrete. He is trying to hang on, gets it righted. May have lost only 1 or 2 positions, but now the challenge coming from Gentilozzi and Ribs. He was running in the 8th position.
And we only just mentioned how tight things are. When you try to make a pass, suddenly you run out of room, which is exactly what Wayne Akers did there. He tried to get down the inside. Lost the room, lost the line, and luckily didn't hit anything. But there is damage to that car. He may be on his way to the pit lane. There's damage on the right front of that car.
He was running in 4th place. Now you see Gentilozzi and Ribs right behind him. We'll go back and take another look now and see what happened to Wayne Akers.
This is it. It's a right-hander. He tries to get down inside Valentine. At this, he was lapping him, so he probably presumed he was going to see him. Obviously, Valentine didn't. And Wayne Akers paid the price. He was within about 2 feet of just planting the nose right in that concrete. So he's fortunate that he's still able to be running on the circuit after that close call and the contact with R.J. Valentine. Now, let's try again to go back down to the pits and check in for that story from Chris McClure.
Well, as Derek Daly mentioned a little while ago, the Dodge Daytonas at Long Beach in their first race back in Trans Am were pretty competitive, but not great. Since then, they've done a couple of things to change the picture entirely. First of all, they had a prototype differential for Long Beach that they thought would work. It didn't. It's been redesigned, and what they have here in Detroit, they're very happy with. Secondly, they were down on horsepower at Long Beach because of an overheating problem. They had to detune the engines there. Since then, they've designed a bigger oil pan, solved that problem. The engine is at full song, and you can see the result on the track.
Thanks, Chris, and we continue to watch now. Scott Sharp, remember, he started way back. He's in the number 8 position, and look at this. One of the Budweiser cars has made contact with the concrete. We'll wait and see if this is the 14 car of Jerry Clinton.
I believe. Yes, it is. Jerry Clinton's car. We see heavy damage on the right front of that car. He's gone